So Mike's popped the lid off here. This is the 1.8 gallon kit. So once you blend the aggregate and the activator, you're working with 1.8 gallons of material. All right, so step one, of course, is just removing the lid on the base portion. You're going to want to add your activator first. So the activator for these smaller kits is in a screw top quart can. So you would add the entire contents of the activator to the base. This is pretty straightforward. Add your activator first. Order of addition is somewhat critical here with this product, being that you're adding aggregate. When you add the aggregate, you'll notice it floats on top initially. So if you add your aggregate first and you attempt to add your catalyst, it could get a little messy. So you add your activator first. Now Mike's going to go ahead and add the vehicular. This is the vehicular aggregate. It's a 1220 mesh. It's a synthetic blend of aggregate. It's not silica sand. You can see it's like a clear synthetic aggregate, okay? That's obviously done purposely. We did lots of testing, lots of research and development, and this is the aggregate we decided to use. It works best. So Mike's going to go ahead and pour the entire contents of the pail into the base portion. So first you'll see there's a lot of aggregate in there. That's a specified amount. So when you initially go to mix, you want to be careful. Just don't, immediately start mixing at high speed. You're going to be wearing the stuff on your pants. So Mike's going to go ahead and just kind of work it in there with the mixing paddle. We got a Jiffy mixer here. This is a Jiffy mixer for 2-gallon pails. We also sell larger Jiffy mixers, for larger pails, like our 5.5-gallon kit. Obviously, you want to use the larger Jiffy mixer for the larger pail. All right, so it's a 2-minute mix. For the small kits, we recommend 2 minutes. It's a very low viscosity material. As you can see, it's a coating, so it mixes fairly easy. So Mike's going to go ahead and blend that for 2 minutes. You don't need to stop halfway through and do a scrape down. This is a low viscosity coating, so there's no need for that. If you were mixing, say, one of our 2-component joint sealants, which are high viscosity materials, we typically recommend a scrape down halfway through your mixing time. Not with this material, very low viscosity. So again, this is the HB1100-SA, single application system. This is a one-coat system. Now, one thing I didn't mention was primer. For our pedestrian system, we don't require primer, although there are situations where you want to use primer at times. I talked about, moisture content, slabs, or if it's an existing deck and you're having some adhesion issues, you can go with the primer. Now, for vehicular, because of the nature of the vehicular application, it's going to take a lot more abuse than a pedestrian application. We do require a primer, which is pretty standard in the industry. So for demonstration purposes, we're simply just going to demonstrate the coating. Putting a primer down is pretty straightforward. If you worked with 4 coatings before, we have a single component primer. You just tip your roller and roll it out, easy. You just roll out the primer, you give it an hour to dry, and you come back with your coating. So for demonstration purposes, we're going to go straight to the coating.
So Mike's just going to pour off some on the side here in a tray so we can wet out our roller. Of course, if you were on the project, you can just wet your roller out on a concrete surface. We do have limited space here, being that this is a demo. So you can see the texture of the material. You can see the integral aggregate. So one thing I didn't mention was squeegee sizes. For the pedestrian system, you want a 1/4 inch notch squeegee. This is not debatable. We require a 1/4 inch notch squeegee. That's going to give you the right height on those notches to distribute the aggregate evenly, okay? You don't want to overwork this material. Just go ahead and push that puddle. Now, if you're using our vehicular system, you're going to want a 3/8 inch notch squeegee. Okay? So you see there's some, drips and splatters there. We're going to go ahead and work that out with the roller. So this is a required step. So once you apply the coating with your squeegee, the next step is back rolling. And this is a crucial step. This is going to help evenly distribute the integral aggregate. You're going to want to go in two directions, right? Perpendicular to each other. So you're going to do one pass as Glenn's doing now. And then you're going to come back in the opposite direction. And that's going to give you a nice finish for the system. So again, a 1/4 inch notch squeegee. This is all in our literature, of course, for the pedestrian system. Again, that's going to help you control your millage. The millage you're looking for is a roughly 33 wet mills. That's going to give you 30 dry mills. All right, Glenn's finishing this up. So again, as I mentioned, this is not going to be a very long demo. This is a single coat application. This is it. You apply the polyurethane coating here, and that's it. And you're done. So again, this is a waterproofing system and traffic clearance coating all in one. All right, so that's basically it. That's the system. So again, we cannot emphasize the simplicity of this system. It is a single application or single coat system. So you're just going to go ahead and mix the materials. You're going to squeegee it out with the properly sized squeegee. You're going to back roll, and that's it. You're done. On to the next balcony or walkway or whatever it may be.